You're listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour. If you miss any of the program, you can find the podcast at the bottom of the page at sunnyradio.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour on this Memorial Day Monday. Instead of a movie star Monday, today is Military Star Monday. I'm excited to have an amazing guest joining us at the end of this hour. Right now, I want to take a moment to say thank you to Rolling Thunder, the Sioux Empire Rolling Thunder Group, or the Sioux Falls chapter. I guess I'm not sure. I should have looked at how they are labeled. If it's a Sioux Falls chapter, Sioux Empire chapter. Anyway, Rolling Thunder from this area. Amazing event yesterday, and if you missed it, you missed it. It was a really, really neat thing. The program was at the Veterans Memorial Park yesterday, and they're going to do it again next year. I guess they do this every year, the Sunday before Memorial Day, and I'm going to make sure I remind you next year to join me. I was there yesterday. Unbelievable event. Again, thank you to the folks from Rolling Thunder for putting on the event, and thank you to everybody who came out and joined us for that event yesterday. Now, there is an event today. Now, I'm not exactly sure if it's been moved. I guess we'll find out for sure, and I'll make sure that we announce on our Facebook page. But it was going to be at the Veterans Cemetery today, but it may be moved to the South Dakota Military Heritage Alliance today. All of the details I will make sure I post, so you know where to go, you know when to go. You can find all the details. Again, it's a really nice Memorial Day program. I've been a part of this the last several years, and it's always been just an amazing program. They do a good job. All of the details at facebook.com/sunnyradio and facebook.com/Sioux Falls News.
What a year. With prices on everything going up, it's more important than ever to have a better credit card. Some people use a credit card that's not a very good one. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited right now to have Brent Baker from Clients First Group in the studio. Also Keller at Williams Realty. How you doing, sir?
Well, I'm enjoying South Dakota.
Yeah.
In the spring and summer.
Yeah, we're sneaking right up on summer, and I've got some info in front of me here. Busted 10 myths clients believe about the current market. So there's some misinformation, or maybe just some people who think some things that are not necessarily accurate. Is that what we're saying here?
Well, that's true of everything we do in life.
Yeah.
We have perceptions, maybe sometimes based on poor information we were given, something handed down from family. But along the way, things change.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just need to get up to date on what's currently happening.
What would you say is the first myth on the list of 10?
Coming out of an extremely, and we're still in a very, very strong market, but sometimes sellers think they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
That the demand for their house is going to be so strong, they don't have to do anything. And that's absolutely false.
Yeah.
You can't expect a premium price if you don't have a premium product.
And sometimes, I know we were looking at homes last year with you, and there were times that we would step into a home and you'd think, did they realize they're selling this house? Because why wouldn't they have, it just seemed really weird to me. But for the most part, a lot of the places, it was great. But yeah, I'll bet it makes a big difference, because a first impression makes a big difference.
That's really true, and every once in a while, a seller will say, well, can we give them an allowance for this or that?
Yeah.
And there's a time and place for that, but if it's something that you're going to see when you drive up to the property or first step in the door, that has a big impact on people's perception of what that property is truly worth.
Yeah.
And so those first impression items need to be really up to snuff.
What would be seller myth number 2?
I would say that is going to be, I can ask whatever price I want because the market's strong.
Well, you can ask it, but that doesn't mean that they're going to answer.
That's correct. I mean, the public has a general sense of what a given property is worth, and they can look online and they can see what similar homes are selling for. And so why would they give you some wild price when they can go down the street?
Yeah.
And sometimes the seller will say, well, they can always make me an offer. Well, but you don't look very reasonable if you overprice. And so you automatically get bypassed. And sometimes people have to ask themselves, would you pay any price for your home?
Yeah, probably not. And so what is seller myth number 3?
We can use multiple offers to our advantage. And there was a time that was easily done, but a couple of things have changed. The market isn't quite as wild as it was in regard to that. And another piece of that is sometimes when you have fewer offers, the market has gotten smarter. Buyers have gotten smarter, and they can smell.
Yeah.
And so if you try to leverage that bidding war up too much, you might lose all of your bidders.
Yeah. And you want to be careful not to do that. Because again, at the end of the day, treat people right, and if you treat them wrong, that's probably not going to be a good thing. So
correct. Yeah. You have to bear in mind that they have the right to rescind their offer, and I've seen that done on different times.
What would you say is seller myth number 4?
That it's super easy to sell a house.
Yeah.
That goes back to the very first question, property preparation.
Yeah.
If you want a premium price, you have to have it in shape. So that means keeping it clean, keeping everything fixed up. Maybe you have to bring it up to that level. Maybe you haven't done all the maintenance. And so those things matter. The other part that is becoming more and more apparent now that we don't have quite the rush for buyers, that people are a lot more particular about the age of the roof, the HVAC system, the plumbing, all of that. And so you have to have everything neat and orderly. I mean, have the furnace cleaned, have all of that. You do have to go the extra mile because it's not quite as easy as it was a couple of years ago.
And let's do one more, seller myth number 5, then we'll save the other 5 for next week.
All right.
So what's seller myth number 5?
No contingencies. Oh. And if you wonder what a contingency is, it is a factor in the offer or in the purchase contract. And contingencies are typically that you want to do inspections, and so that if something severely is found and you can't come to an agreement on it, then the buyer has an out. The same is true for an appraisal, survey, and so forth. If all the stars don't line up, the buyer can walk away. Once you meet those contingencies, and there are times when sellers say, I just don't want to deal with contingencies. Well, that means you probably are only dealing with a cash buyer, no appraisal. And while they're out there, they're not, they're not the majority.
Absolutely. If somebody is looking to buy a home or sell a home, how do they get in touch with you, Brent?
You can find me at 605-310-0297 or Brent Baker at kw.com.
Very nice. We'll go through the next 5 next week. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour.
Did you know you can allocate a percentage of your IRA to physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover? You can put your IRA back on the gold standard. Genesis Gold IRA is the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. GenesisGoldIRA.com would like to help protect your IRA today with a simple phone call. Learn more and get the phone number at GenesisGoldIRA.com. That's GenesisGoldIRA.com.
Time now for This Day in Sioux Falls History, brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page and Sunny 93.3. It was on this day, May 29th, 1883, the first insurance policy in the state of South Dakota was written in Sioux Falls. The infamous Insurance Company of the Dakotas writes the policy. The company would be plagued by mismanagement from the start, and that first policy, along with all the rest, would be worthless as the company went bankrupt and disbanded in 1888. This Day in Sioux Falls History has been brought to you by SiouxFallsFunPage.com and Sunny 93.3.
How much do you pay for your cell phone every month? If it's more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring in your current phone. iPhones and Samsung phones both work well with Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, May 29th, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets advanced last week despite a hot read on inflation. The PCE price index was hot and accelerated from the previous month. The data points to another FOMC interest rate hike and contradicts the idea the FOMC may pause or even cut rates soon. The takeaway is that economic pressure will continue to build and more banks are likely to fail. Additionally, the cost of credit will continue to rise and squeeze consumers. The hot story in stocks is Nvidia. The company's results prove the dawning of the age of AI and point to solid results from other companies next quarter and this year. While the chip makers will be at the forefront of the revolution, the companies that stand to gain the most are the traditional tech service companies like Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and Google. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
InsuranceChicken.com wants to know, how much are you paying for your insurance? I know it seems like a hassle to switch to a different company, but if you can save a few bucks, it's worth crossing the road to InsuranceChicken.com. We have several of the top insurance companies trying to earn your business. They do that by offering great insurance that is cheap. Okay, enough of the silly chicken puns. It's time to get serious about saving you money on your insurance at InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com.